What if everything you've been told about manifesting your reality is fundamentally wrong? The very sense of control you've been seeking is actually the invisible barrier keeping you from true power. For decades, spiritual teachers have promised that you can create your reality through positive thinking and manifestation techniques. Yet millions of sincere seekers still struggle despite their best efforts. There's a reason for this disconnect, and it's hidden in plain sight. By the end of this video, you'll understand the ancient truth that modern manifestation gurus don't want you to know, a perspective that completely transforms how energy actually works in your life. Today we're exploring the beautiful paradox at the heart of creation, why surrendering control might be the most powerful move you can make. I'll share why the most profound mystics throughout history have warned against the very approach most modern teachers promote, and how understanding this changes everything. If you've ever felt frustrated that your manifestation efforts aren't working, or wondered why some people seem to effortlessly create amazing lives while others struggle despite doing all the right things, this video will finally explain what's really happening. Let's start with what's become almost gospel truth in spiritual circles today: the idea that you create your reality through your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions. This teaching is everywhere, from best-selling books to viral social media posts. You are the master of your destiny. Your thoughts create your reality. Like attracts like. These phrases have become so common that we rarely question them. But have you noticed something? The more desperately you try to control outcomes, the more elusive they become. The harder you push for something to manifest, the more resistance seems to appear. It's not your fault. You've been sold a partial truth masked as the complete picture. Think about it. If we truly controlled reality through our conscious thoughts and intentions, wouldn't we all be living our dream lives already? After all, who consciously chooses struggle, heartbreak, or failure? To understand what's really happening, we need to look to ancient wisdom traditions that have explored consciousness far longer than modern manifestation movements. In Taoism, there's a concept called Wu Wei, often translated as non-doing or effortless action. The Tao Te Ching tells us, the master does nothing, yet leaves nothing undone. This paradoxical teaching points to something profound about reality. The ancient Taoist masters weren't suggesting we become passive. They were pointing to a different kind of action, one that flows from alignment rather than control, from being rather than forcing. Similarly, in Advaita Vedanta, one of the world's oldest philosophical traditions, teachers point to the illusion of the separate self who believes it's in control. The great sage Ramana Maharshi often asked seekers, "Who is it that wants to control?" This simple question reveals something extraordinary. The very I who thinks it's controlling reality is itself a thought arising in consciousness. How can a thought control reality? What these traditions understood, and what modern manifestation teachings often miss, is that what we call I is actually the ego mind. And this ego mind creates the illusion of control as a way to feel safe in an uncertain world. It's like a child holding a toy steering wheel in the backseat of a car, convinced they're driving. Cute, but not actually how things work. Your ego tells you a convincing story. If I just think positively enough, visualize clearly enough, or believe strongly enough, I can make life go exactly as I want. But have you noticed that life rarely follows this script? What if your conscious desires are just the surface ripples on a much deeper ocean of being? What if you're not the driver but the vehicle, not the artist but the paintbrush? Think about breathing for a moment. Yes, you can consciously control your breath. Inhale, exhale, hold, release. But when you're not paying attention, who's breathing you? When you sleep at night, what intelligence keeps your heart beating and your cells regenerating? Something far vaster than your conscious mind is at work here. And that same intelligence is operating in every area of your life, whether you recognize it or not. So what's actually shaping your reality, if not your conscious intentions? First, there's your subconscious mind, that vast reservoir of patterns, beliefs, and imprints that operates beneath your awareness. Neuroscience tells us that up to 95% of your decisions happen subconsciously. Your conscious mind is like the tip of an iceberg, while the true power lies beneath the surface. Then there's collective consciousness, the shared field of energy and information we all participate in. Your reality isn't created in isolation. It emerges through a complex dance with everyone and everything around you. Many traditions speak of karma, not as punishment, but as the natural unfolding of energy patterns set in motion long ago. Perhaps some experiences aren't things you're manifesting, but energies seeking resolution through you. And what about divine timing? The Bhagavad Gita teaches that there's a cosmic order and intelligence at work. What's meant for you will find you when the timing is right, not necessarily when you demand it. Here's a profound perspective. What if your soul is creating experiences your mind resists? What if the very situations you're trying to control away are exactly what you need for growth? This brings us to the great paradox of power. True creative force comes not from controlling reality, but from surrendering to it. Imagine trying to force a flower to bloom by prying open its petals. You'd only damage it. The flower opens naturally when the conditions are right. Sunlight, water, time. Your creative power works the same way. When jazz musicians improvise, they don't control every note through conscious planning. They surrender to the flow of music moving through them. The greatest works of art, scientific discoveries, and business innovations often come not from forced effort, but from moments of receptivity and insight. Think about the most synchronistic, magical moments in your life. Did they come when you were tightly controlling everything, or when you were in a state of openness and flow? Michael Singer, author of The Surrender Experiment, spent decades saying yes to whatever life brought him, even when his mind objected. The result? He built a billion-dollar software company and experienced extraordinary spiritual growth, all by surrendering his sense of control. This isn't spiritual bypassing or passive acceptance of harmful situations. It's recognizing that there's a deeper intelligence at work in your life and aligning with it rather than fighting against it. So how do we live without the illusion of control? Here are 3 practices that transform everything. First, cultivate presence. When you're fully in the present moment, you step out of the mind's constant planning and controlling. Try spending 5 minutes each day doing nothing but noticing your senses, what you see, hear, feel. This simple practice begins dissolving the illusion of the separate controller. Second, listen to your body's wisdom. Your body is always in the now, unlike your mind which lives in past and future. Before making decisions, check your physical sensations. Tension often signals you're trying to force something. Relaxation and expansion suggest alignment. Third, practice surrender as a daily meditation. Each morning, set the intention. Today, I release the need to control outcomes. I trust the unfolding of my life. Notice what shifts when you approach challenges from this mindset. The irony is beautiful. When you stop trying to be the master of reality and instead become its partner, life begins flowing with remarkable grace. Opportunities appear that your controlling mind could never have imagined. Problems solve themselves in unexpected ways. As we conclude, consider this perspective shift. You are not the puppet master of reality. You are the current through which reality expresses itself. When you release the exhausting burden of trying to control everything, you don't become powerless. You tap into a power far greater than your individual will could ever access. The ancient mystics weren't suggesting we become passive observers of life. They were inviting us into a more mature relationship with creation, not control, but co-creation, not force, but flow. So the next time you feel that urgent need to make something happen exactly as you've planned, pause and ask, what if I don't need to control this? What if something far wiser than my thinking mind is already at work here? In that space of surrender, you might just discover what true creation really means. If this message resonates with you, share your experiences in the comments below. And subscribe for more videos exploring the deeper truths of consciousness, energy, and mystical wisdom. Remember, the universe doesn't need your control, it needs your trust. Thank you for watching.